All right. So today's call, guys, with everybody on here is really going to be talking about duplication, partially enrolling and duplication. And I wrote out a couple things to kind of go over. And I wrote it out because there's just so much like little things that I wanted to make sure I was able to say documented on this call for you guys to hear and reference back to, as well as future team members, whatever. I wrote it out. So if it sounds like I'm kind of reading off of something, it might be because I am, but it's just because I don't want to miss the specific key elements of this call for you guys to be able to hear. So really, guys, the whole purpose of this call is to recognize where we're at right now and where we're going. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, I'm pretty sure everybody has, the team is on fire right now. The team is on fire right now. I don't know if y'all have noticed it, but the IM team chat is like lit. It's not just Abby is the only one posting in there. It's not just, specific leaders that are, just posting in there. It's like everybody from all different areas of the world, everybody, from all different backgrounds. They've been in for a long time, 3-4 years. They've been in for a year. They've been in for 6 months. They've been in for 30 days. They just got started a week ago or 2 days ago. Everybody's getting involved, and it's because they have a desire to. It's not like, hey, everybody, like, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing this, and then they're doing it. They're genuinely showing up in the group, wanting to be there. And I'll say this too, Saturday night, we did a pop-up Zoom call. The pop-up Zooms are not really promoted because it's a pop-up. But I will tell you this, guys, the pop-up Zoom on Saturday night, we really only promoted it for like 4 hours before the call started. And we had like 20 strong on a Saturday night on the call. And that to me was a sign of, okay, we are in a place right now that we've never been before as a unit, as a group. And I want you guys to take what's happening right now and see how, as you're growing and progressing in your leadership in your business, how some of the things that you're starting to see right now are aligning with where you're going, so that you don't make maybe the same mistakes that I'm making or leaders before us, or you can start to role model the right behaviors and the right habits and the right mentality so you can prepare for, specific things that are happening. Okay. So I wanted to kind of talk about a couple things. Number one, the amount of rake advancements that happened in the last week. 7 people leveled up, either going, 2 and free, getting their free membership, going platinum 150, going platinum 600, and so many other people well on their way to, to getting their first enrollment this week, to going 2 and free this week, to leveling up to platinum 150, P600 this week. Like, you guys, it's already done. And I want to give you guys a quick example. If you guys know who Josh Moores is, he's out in Newfoundland, California, Jesus Christ, Canada. He's been on the calls. He's been a lot more active in the chat. And this is what I'm going to talk about today: personally enrolling and driving depth in your relationships. This is why this is so important. So Josh Moores lives out in Canada, and I actually started to get him connected, for example, with somebody on the team he's on their team. So he's my personal, but I started to get him connected with people that are on his team, or he's on their team, sorry, and building that relationship. Because the worst thing that you can do is bring on somebody and they only know you, because now they're only seeing things from your level of perspective, from your level of awareness, and your pace as their enroller. Whereas if you start to get them connected with myself, pretty much everybody on this call, you're working directly with me. Like, if you're going to do a 3-way, you're going to be rocking with me. That's pretty much standard across the board for pretty much everybody on this call. And if you're, when your team starts to do that, you need to start to let them set the tone. My phone, Jesus. Set the tone for what we're doing. Okay. And what's the expectations? And so that's why it's so important that when you bring on your newest person, okay, they're connected with more than just you. So Josh, I'm about to give you guys a crazy example, because what I'm going to show you is going to make so much sense. So Josh is out in Canada. He's been in for about 6 months. He's going to hear this on the recording. Shout out to you, bro. I'm so proud of you. he did his first launch overview on Saturday and was so nervous. And he knew it. He texted me after. He was like, I can't believe, it went this way, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, bro, everybody has a starting point. It's not always going to look pretty, but you got to show up to grow up. And I'm proud of you that you actually did that, because most people don't ever get there. Okay. So driving depth in your relationships. Well, I started to get him connected to more of the team. He's showing up in the chats. He's being more active because he wants to. And he texted me that he's ready to build. And I said, sometimes when you get that text from your team, people are talk. And I don't really believe, and this is across the board, it's not for anybody in particular, but I don't really believe anybody until they go out and do it. And you guys shouldn't either. Like, don't get excited because somebody's like, I want to build, or, I'm talking to all these people. No, where's the results? I don't care how many people. I mean, it is important of how many people you're talking to. Don't get me wrong. You've got to be prospecting, but I don't listen to talk. I look at your feet. I look at your results. I look at your PRSV. I look at your calendar. Okay. I look at, and that's the other thing. You could be personally enrolling all day long, but if you don't drive depth in your relationships, you won't go to the next level. And I know this firsthand because I've been P2K and I've lost it. And I've just been on this roller coaster for the last 2-3 years of going back and forth between P6, P1, P2. And for the first time in like 3 years, we have sustained Platinum 2000 with an organization that's actually duplicating. The first time that I hit Platinum 2K, we only had like two or three people ranked. That's it. Right now, guys, we have like 10, 12, 15. I think it's like 12 or 15 people that are actually ranked right now. We've never been in the position that we're in where we can actually duplicate the leaders. And so Josh Moore is getting back to this. He texted me this late last night, this morning. He said, hey, so my friend watched the video. I was wondering, how do I respond next? And this is so crazy that he's texting me this, because Arnold and Josh, shout out to them. They're out here in Arizona. They're staying with Alex and I for, I don't know when, but we're going to run it up and they're going to go Platinum 600 before they leave. Okay. At the bare minimum. So I did a call yesterday right before Josh got here, and it's called following up and collecting a decision. How many of you guys have ever been in a position, or maybe your team, where they're sending out videos or they're sending out exposures and they don't know what to do next? Or maybe you've been in that position where you're sending out videos, but you don't really know like what to do after you send the exposure, right? Well, I did a video yesterday. It's not the best, but it's something right now. And I think it's going to get the point across because it already has. It's called Following Up and Collecting Decision. It's on my YouTube and it's in a playlist that I'm going to share my screen and show you guys. So I said, yeah, bro, I got you. Check out this video. This will show you exactly what to do. And if you still have questions, let me know. So I sent him the video and he texted me right back and he said, yo, that's so simple. I just messaged him what you said in the video. Long story short, he asked me, would you be available at 9 p.m. on Tuesday evening for a 3-way call with his first guy that wants to get started? It's basically going to turn into a launch call that lives out in Australia. I'm like, bro, so simple, right? So he just followed the steps in the video. And that's why I'm so excited, because it's just following the system. It's just staying coachable to the plan and what your mentors tell you. And guys, I want you guys to understand, you have to, and this is actually a question that may not apply to everybody right now, but as you grow in your leadership in your business, I will tell you what, when I hit Platinum 1000, when I was doing my own thing, I would question my mentors. I would question the leaders before me. I would question my upline and my sponsors at the time, probably for good reason. But I've always had my guard up about the mentors before me. And even for a period of time, it is not like this right now, but for a period of time. And I was questioning my mentors because I was questioning myself. Okay. And I didn't have the right information, right? When you're insecure about yourself, you are insecure about every other person. So for the longest time, I would question things that Mike Sotero would say to do. Mike Sotero did a video 1 year ago. I'm going to show you this right now. I'm just kind of prefacing this call because you guys are about to get a lot of value and apply it right to your business. in developing your leadership that you can apply to your team. Josh Morse out of Canada, we have a 3-way call / launch call set up on Tuesday, all because of him following the system. He's so excited. Let's go. This will be his first personal enrollment. And I'm bringing this up because I want to ask you guys, how often do you catch yourself, or have you ever caught yourself questioning your mentor? If you call, let's say, me your mentor, and I'm flattered, but I know I am a mentor in some people's eyes, but I still look at myself as just being the messenger. I just have a good thing, whether it's I'm sharing it with the prospects or I'm sharing it with you guys. Okay. I have the direction. I have the guidance. Have you guys ever questioned your mentor? Because I can tell you right now, in my journey, I have questioned my mentors. I would question the things that, let's say, for example, Mike Sotero would say. I do not question Mike Sotero anymore. I did like a year, 2 years ago, and that was because I was in a place where I wasn't right mentally. I wasn't right emotionally. I wasn't right spiritually. I had a lot of work on myself, and I also had a lot of trust issues. I don't want to use that as an excuse, but with the person that I was working with before who enrolled me, I didn't trust him, and it caused me to not want to trust anybody else before me that was trying to actually help me, who had all the answers. Mike Sotero at the time was a chairman 10, now a chairman 25. He knows what he's talking about. And everything that I pour into y'all is just me taking from Mike. It's just me taking from Platinum 5000 going on chairman 10, Christian Jukes, right? Who learned directly from Jason Brown. So I want you guys to really ask yourself if you've ever questioned maybe something that I've done or something that I've shared, because it's going to be very difficult for you to grow and elevate if you're trying to do everything on your own. When you really, and this is no disrespect, because I know there's people on this call that have done things, but I'm just talking in the grand scheme of where we're trying to go, chairman. It's going to be really difficult for you to go actually like make something of yourself in this business and question things when you really haven't done much. Does that make sense? And this is the conversation that I had to have with Abby a year ago when I was questioning so many different, it was like a year and a half, 2 years ago, when I was questioning so many different things. And I was like, Abby, you're still in the same spot. Why are you questioning what your mentors are saying? Okay. They've been where you've gone, or they've been where you're at right now. They can give you the shortcut. They can give you the clarity and the perspective that you're looking for. So if I can encourage and challenge any of you guys on this call, to just ask yourself where you're at. If you're questioning your mentor, if you're not staying coachable, if they said to do something and you still haven't done it yet, you need to take a look inside yourself and just recognize that you're probably going to be in the same spot that you're in right now, 90 days from now, if you continue on the path of where you're at currently. I'm just being real, because that's where I was at, and I had to make a change. So that's what I wanted to kick off first. Okay. And some of the things that I'm going to go through on the call right now, guys, is about personally enrolling, is about how to drive depth and duplicate your business, because it's one thing to be able to personally enroll, but it's a whole different story to be able to duplicate your efforts. And we had this conversation with Josh and Arnold last night with Alex at the table. Oh my God, guys, can I just really quickly, I'm so terrible. I just dove right into this call. Don't worry, I already told her, but can we shout out in the chat really quickly? It is Alex's 28th birthday. Can we show some love? Can we tell her happy birthday in the chat box? Whatever y'all got to do. She's over here holding it down while the boys are in town, while we've got the dogs in the house and everything's going crazy. Shout out, show some love for her. 28, baby. Are you feeling great? Let's go. She's got a big day planned with her mom. It's Mother's Day for her mom as well. So we're going to do some good stuff. But anyways, I definitely wanted to make sure I shouted her out. Don't worry. She got some love this morning. It's okay. But I definitely want to make sure I say that. Okay. So back to the call, personally enrolling, but driving depth. And I want to show you guys a few things that I think are going to really help you and your team. But I wanted to pose this question. Okay. Because a lot of times we can get so caught up in like me type of thing, instead of asking ourselves what we can do for the team. So for example, Jim Rohn says this in his audio, the first one that everybody should watch, asking yourself, instead of, what can this do for me? Instead ask, what can I do for the team? Okay. You want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, travel together, go as a team. And I can promise you the alignment that we have right now, the unit, the group that we have together, we're going to go a lot further when we can be all in alignment, when we can do everything with the mentality of, instead of what can I, what can this do for me? Instead, what can I do for the team? Guys, we have our chat, right? Our I am team chat, which everybody should be in that chat. Okay. Everybody should be surrounded around the campfire. You guys are seeing what's going on in the chat firsthand. It's no longer just us leaders posting in there. It is the group as a whole, new people every single day, every single week that are popping their heads in there and wanting to say something, wanting to share, some wins. And so it's so important that we start to ask that. But I'm in Christian Jukes, I'm in Mikey's chats, right? So are all of us. We should be. And when I see a win, when I see somebody welcome in there, that's not anything to do with me on a monetary level, it does not monetarily benefit me, I welcome every single person. Okay. I celebrate every single rank advancement. I give credit where credit is due. And you have to recognize that what you do, your team is watching. Okay. So if you're not welcoming people, if you're not celebrating people, because what you celebrate accelerates. And guys, you have to think about it like this. If you never say anything in the chat, guess what? Your team doesn't see you leading by example. That's number one. Okay. But number two is you've got to start asking yourself this question of, instead of what can this do for me, instead, what can I do for the team? How can I level up the team as a whole? Because rising tides raises all ships, and we are only as strong as our weakest link. So who are you in the grand scheme of things? What is your role, and who are you being to raise the level, to raise the vibration? As Steve Max talked about last night, newest Chairman 10, he said HFO only, high frequencies only. Okay, I'm on an HFO. You got negativity, complaining, whatever, leave me alone. What are we bringing to the chat? What are you bringing to the table as a leader in this role to help the overall organization grow? Mikey's team, I'm in there like swimwear. If I can help out in any way, I'm there. And sometimes, you guys, we don't recognize that just welcoming the newest person, celebrating the newest rank advancement goes a long way, because then you start to show an example of what we should be doing. Cool. So I wanted to pose this of making it a habit. And I think we're pretty good about it, but I do believe that we can step up overall, but making it a habit to welcome and celebrate each other. A win is a win, and feeding off of each other's energy. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen, guys, really quick. And I'm just going to show you something in the members guide. If some of you guys have not been able to check this out yet, let me see. Okay. So the members guide, hopefully everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. They have access to this. If I were you, if you haven't done this already, I would have this bookmarked on your computer, saved in your notes on your phone. If you never know where to find it, if you're sending this out to your newest person, guys. Also, let me actually show you this really quick. Okay. I hope that you guys know that the Telegram, okay, the pin post right here, this little text, I'm Academy Fast Start, get connected in these 3 chats. And then this is the welcome guide. This is the new members checklist right here. For your newest person, if you don't have this saved in your notes, I would save it in your notes. But I would come in here and just copy this. And that's all you need to do. And you just send that to your newest person. This is the welcome text. Okay. This right here is the welcome text. So every single newest person that you bring in inside of this organization, you want to send them this as soon as they get started. And as soon as they get started, you want to make sure that they can log into the center and they're connected to these groups. Guys, I can't tell you how many times people don't get connected to the groups and they fall off. And you wonder why your team stays the same, is because you're not driving depth in the relationships. They only know you. Okay. And they only are learning from your level of awareness, and they're only seeing things from your level of perspective when it comes to this business and this organization. So let me go back to Google. Okay. So this welcome doc, this members guide, I still leverage this right now. Okay. And you guys, if you've taken a look at this in the last 30 days, you'll probably have noticed that this has changed. Okay. I updated it because it used to say new members start here with a bunch of other stuff on the first page. I was looking at it and I was like, this is actually a lot. I wanted to really simplify and organize it. So instead of just having them go from one page to the next, just to get to the checklist, it's already on the first page. They just have to choose their academy. Okay. And so every one of these has their own checklist. I'm just going to show you DCX because I think DCX has the most to it. Because there's two different ways that you can like actually make money. And I think a lot of you guys may not know this right now, but it's going to give you a checklist. And this is what you can go over with them on the launch call. And it goes over, hey, you should be watching the exchange and leverage videos in the DCX Academy 100 series. I'm not going to go through all this, but I just want you guys to see the weekly go live schedule that they can create for themselves. And then these very important links down here. Okay, everybody, this is the number one question when you start to bring people on is, hey, how do I fund my live broker account? Which broker should I use? How do I start depositing on Coinbase? Okay. So I have a couple videos on here. I personally use Hugo's Way. That's why I have this on here. Some of you guys may be using Osprey FX. That's great. Send them a video that works for them. Just know that every resource is already right here. But how to fund Hugo's Way with Bitcoin, how to open and fund Hugo's Way with VLOAD, which is a credit card, how to deposit and buy crypto on Coinbase, video right here. And I actually just saw this video just for, resource purposes, but Mikey put out a video on his YouTube the other day. I didn't even know how to use Uniswap and MetaMask with the Swipecoin exchange ideas. This is a great video. It's like 14, 15 minutes. And I know a lot of people are starting to use that. They have stuff on Go Live. I think Mikey just kind of cleared the air and just did one video really quickly on how to use it in coordinates with the exchange ideas on Swipecoin. So just know any of the links that people are asking for, I put on HFX. There's a Vide Forex, how to fund your Vide Forex account. And there's also one of how to fund your pocket option account, as well as with Bitcoin. And I think with credit card, I think it's a 2-in-1 video. Okay. So you guys will see this. The newest person should go through that. And this is actually a great question. I asked this to Alex last night and I was like, this is why I need to ask this. But if somebody were to go to you right now and you haven't looked at this in 30 days or more. Okay. If somebody went to you right now and was like, hey, I want to start building, I want to start sharing this, what would you do? What would you tell them? What would you give them? Would you start writing them paragraphs in their inbox about what to do? Would you send them a tool? Right? What would you do if somebody were to ask you? So there's no more questioning. There's no more, I don't know what to do or what to share. It's right here. Okay. I need to update this link right here because right now it just takes them to the 4-step invite, which I want to make sure that I guess like watching the 4-step invite is important. I guess you could give this to them as their first video because shout out to Andrew. Shout out to Andrew, Platinum 150. His newest personal, his sister is fired up and excited. Very, very coachable. Shout out to you if you watch this call. She's been texting me and she texted me last night. She bought one of the books that I recommended, literally on the spot. I said, bye. I said, you should get the compound effect. Literally changed my whole perspective on the way that I, make my habits and go throughout my day. She texted me a screenshot that she bought the book. Coachable, right? So the first thing that I did the other day was I sent her this video. And what does she do? She goes and gets 2 people on the overview on Saturday, the live overview on Saturday. And then she sends out a video to another person. And now we're getting calls lined up. Coachable, right? And all I did was share this video with her. Very simple. It takes the pressure off of the newest person of having to like know all the information, of having to have a result or feeling like they need to have a result. It's just like, no, you saw value, you saw the vision. I've got a good thing. I'm going to share it with you. Either you're going to check it out or not. Either you're going to see the value and the vision as well. And that's it. Okay. So I start people right here. I tell them, hey, in the Google Doc, there's a how to get a free membership, start here. You can watch that video. Half the time, guys, I'm just sending them the video. I'm just like, hey, watch this first. Okay. But when it comes to how to earn a residual income, you want to start with this playlist. Okay. And this playlist, I just kind of put it together I did this weekend. Okay. And so I open up this new tab, builders training, top skills and leadership. Don't skip any video, watch in order, and I would watch it multiple times. So there's like 4 main phases and then top books right here, okay? Which compound effect is on this list. So top 4 playlists. Number 1, are you new to building? Start here. Are you, you're ranking up, Platinum 600 and above, there's a training list, okay? Chairman Bootcamp with Matt Rosa and Jason Brown. Who better to learn from? But you got to do these in order. You can't just say, I'm ready to go chairman, but you haven't brought on anybody, right? You want to start at the beginning. So start with the intro to building training playlist. And this is what you can send to your newest person who's gone, Platinum 150. Honestly, once they watch the 4-step invite and they're starting to invite people and they're like, yo, I'm excited, you want to send them this playlist. And so I will tell people, hey, I think I think I have something that will really help when it comes to sharing this. I did this with a few people the other day. Josh Moores is one of them. He started to go through it and he watched this video right here. This is going to set the expectations and the foundation for what this really is, what it really takes to build this business. So as they're sharing this, they recognize you are going to face rejection. You are going to experience problems, right? So they go through this video. I'm literally watching it right now. You guys can see I'm like going through it right now again. Okay. And then they go through the 4-step invite video. You should probably watch the 4-step invite video more than one time. I just watched it the other day because it's that good. It's literally like, you guys will start to notice the language that I use. It's literally the same thing over and over and over again. I've got something you've got to see. Okay. And then this video I just did, this is the one that I sent to Josh, who got the confirmation for our 3-way launch call on Tuesday. I just did this video yesterday. It is a little long, but I think you guys will see the value in the video of like the points that I'm trying to make. So the newest person can set the expectations and the standard of like, okay, this is what it is. So I would take a look. Honestly, you have somebody that wants to get started. I would say, hey, in building or sharing this, I would say, hey, watch these 2 videos right here. They're going to start sharing this with people. And then that's when you can say, hey, cool. You remember that 3rd video? I want you to watch that. You can send it to them directly yourself. And everything else in here, like I was telling Arnold and Josh last night, as far as giving them like a game plan, I would go through this playlist. So you have a clear understanding of what we're doing, when you should be doing it, and why you should be doing it. So you have an outline for yourself, okay? And just message me if you have any questions. So everything you need to know right here, these videos, I just kind of put them together. Take it for what it is. You guys get my point. I'm going to update them. But I did them personally like this, guys, because I didn't see anything else online. Like if I see a video that one of my mentors do or somebody I look up to does, and it's fire, I'm going to use it, as you guys can see. Okay. There's only 3 videos that I'm doing, and that's because I didn't really see much on in depth of how to edify or how to open. Okay, I've got Alex Morton right here, and that's great, but I kind of elaborated a little bit right here so you guys can get the understanding. Anyways, I think you guys understand where I'm coming from. I wanted to make sure that I could show you this, and I would start off with that playlist before you move into, some of you guys are, really ranked on here, Platinum 600, Platinum 1000, before you move into the P600 and above training playlist, okay? Start from the basics, start from the beginning, so on and so forth. So I want to get into this last part, guys. I know this is a little bit of a longer call than normal, but there's a lot of crazy things that are going on in the business that I think we need to be aware of. And I'm trying to, with every single training, show up with the intent to provide not only as much value and perspective as possible, but give specific training that we need to hear right now, and not just a generic training that, whatever. So what I wanted to just really quickly say and talk about, you guys, I would take very severe, specific notes about this, but I want to say this: you can hit, okay, anybody, and this isn't to downplay or disrespect anybody's rank. I've been there before, but I'm giving this to you for perspective purposes. Okay. It just is what it is. Anybody can hit Platinum 600 by personally enrolling. Okay. I did it. I hit Platinum 600 by personally enrolling. Anybody can hit Platinum 1000 from personally enrolling. I did it. I didn't have anybody when I hit Platinum 1000 for the very first time, literally 4 years ago this month, which is so crazy to think about. I did that by personally enrolling. I didn't have anybody on my team ranked. It just is what it is. And this is the crazy part, because your team's going to go crazy when you go platinum 1000. When I hit platinum 1000 for the first time, everyone's always asking, how do I find my runners? How do I find my builders? Nobody wants to build. And I'm like, you're probably sharing it in the wrong way. Okay. I get people naturally like Josh Moore's. He's probably going to text me because he's, spiritually hearing me blow his name up. But I get people like Josh Morris. I get people like Nehemiah, right? Out in South Florida. I get people like Jaman out in Iowa. I mean, the list could go on, who text me, who've been in the company for a couple months or their first couple weeks, or somebody like Hannah, Andrew's sister, literally our first call together. She's only been in for like a week. Tell me she wants to build. And it's all in your approach. It's all in the way that you share this. I'm always casting a vision of where you can go. And I'm not making this about how much money you're going to make. I'm not doing favors. I'm not trying to convince somebody. I don't need to convince you because I've got conviction, right? Because I know where I'm going. So if you can go platinum 1000 and you can go P600, that's amazing. You can do that by personally enrolling. My point in saying this is when I went platinum 1000 for the very first time, I went, and then literally pretty much like half the organization decided to upgrade to IBO because they wanted to build too. They were so excited. And I didn't know any better. And I didn't tell them right away, yo, you don't upgrade IBO until you go, platinum 150. I actually deranked and I was unranked because I had so many platinum 150s, or sorry, I had so many people go IBO. So just know you create your own momentum. You are the decision maker in what happens with your business, and you are the decision maker in how long your business is going to retrace. Okay. And that was me for like 3 years. I had to go through certain trials and tribulations. I had to get out of my own head. I had to stop questioning my mentors, because that's what I was telling you guys earlier. Mike Sotero, shout out to him, dude. He's like in the trenches. I couldn't see this right away. A year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I couldn't see this right away. And that's why I didn't move in my business, because he would say to do stuff and I wouldn't do it. He would directly and indirectly tell me to do things and I still would not do it. And no wonder my business wasn't growing. I was staying right where I was at. But he did a video, literally, it's so crazy that I came across this. He did a video a year ago and it's on unlisted. I just happened to save it in my favorites on my YouTube or whatever. And I watched the video yesterday and I was like, holy shit, I cannot believe I never went back to watch this. It's called the exposure process or exposure pipeline process or whatever. It's in the playlist. I think it's in the P600 above playlist. The newest person should not watch it right away because he does go in a lot of detail. They need to get their 2 and free and go P150. But this video, I remember so vividly him doing the video a year ago on Cinco de Mayo, and he was promoting it like crazy. And I remember I wasn't paying attention on that call. I think I was doing something. I think my family was here or whatever. I was making an excuse of like not to like kind of pay attention. And I remember I like never really went back to watch the full video. And I watched it yesterday, and literally everything that I'm like trying to explain and break down and share with you guys right now, he literally went over in that video. But a year ago, I wasn't ready to receive it. I was not ready to receive it. Okay. And that's why it took an entire year to get to a place that we're at in our business right now, 110, 115 plus active, well on our way, literally with elite packs, less than 100 way to platinum 5,000. Like right now, guys, we're like 85, 90 away to P5K, which is crazy because we know exactly what we need to do to go out and help you guys go to the next level. Everyone goes on this call, they rank advance. We're literally there. We have 8 to 10 platinum 1000s. C10 is done. And then you guys are freaking next. So I'm sharing this with you guys because you can go P600, you can go platinum 1000 by personally enrolling, but what's going to get you to the next level is going to require you to duplicate your enrollments. Okay. It's going to require you to build depth in your relationships. Your newest person cannot only know you. They've got to build relationships with the team. They've got to know your upline, your mentor. I hope and pray that you would want to get your team connected with me, because all I'm going to do is just pour into them perspective, cast a greater vision of where they can go. And if you can edify me in the right way, I'm going to back edify you so that they respect you and they know how important your relationship is. You have the guidance to give them, they should stay close to you. I'm just going to back edify you. Nick, I really wish Nick was able to get on this call. And that's actually something that we're going to talk about at the end, is we're going to be switching up the call time. So it's not going to be Monday at 5 a.m. anymore. It's going to be a different day. It's going to be a different time, because these calls are going to start to bleed into our newest Platinum 150s. Okay. Our newest rank advancements inside of the business, because we want to make sure that they're getting properly educated on how to build the business, right? We want to make sure that they're aligned with the culture, with the system. So they're not going off and doing their own thing. They're not, you tell them what to do because they told you that you have permission to, help them. And then they go and not listen to you, right? We want them to make sure they have the system and they're actually getting results, and they don't make the same mistakes as, for example, I made, right? So P600, P1000, you're starting to really get into your leadership role. But I will tell you, you can personally enroll to P6 and P1. I've done it. Okay. And I know some of you guys on this call have done it, but what's going to get you to the next level is not by you just personally enrolling. I've been there. P2K, you hit it and then you lose it because you didn't duplicate anybody. You've got to duplicate your enrollments. You've got to build depth in your relationship. And so I want to talk about a couple of things really quick. And just to kind of not put you on the spot, but I just want to kind of give an example. I had a call with Tony and Rachel the other day, and I was saying on our call that you as a leader need to be selfish. This may apply to some of you guys right now, but it will apply to you down the road. You can start to move with this mentality, but you've got to be selfish as a leader with your business, right? Like I want to know everyone, especially when you don't even have 500 people on your team yet. When you have 100, 150, 200 people, I want to know everybody. And you should want to know everybody in your organization too, especially if I've placed people in your business. You like, if Mikey has placed anybody in my business, I'm blowing him up and I want to know exactly who they are. I want to know exactly who those people are. What's their phone number? What's their Instagram? Let's get connected. Let's jump on a quick call. Because why? You can drive depth in your relationships. And I can't tell you how many people that are on the team right now that if I didn't build depth in our relationship, they wouldn't probably be here, or they probably wouldn't be ranked where they're at right now. Look at Steve Max. Steve Max, his personal quit, or his sponsor quit. And Mike built that depth of relationship through Steve Max, who's now C10. Who now also has a Chairman 10 organization in his business. Depth of your relationships, duplicating your enrollments is going to be so vital to your ability to go to the next level. You can personally enroll all day long. Like that's huge. Don't get me wrong, but you have to match it by duplicating your enrollments. And this is what this system is about, is when somebody comes to you and they want to know how to build, how to share this, you know exactly where to send them. You're not texting them. Guys, can you imagine you have a team of 200 plus, 500 plus, and you're like texting everybody what to do? No, Christian Juke says this. You share a tool. You give them a system, right? So one thing I wanted to just say, Cash Cartier talks about this a lot on his YouTube. I've been studying him like crazy. He just has what I want. He's a great leader and he's built a great culture. And I think right now we're on the cusp of really creating something special. I think we have it. It's just letting it and allowing it to kind of breathe and manifest. But Cash Cartier talks about this. He says the untaught skill, you guys can write this down. The untaught skill in this business is getting your team to work together, which I think we're doing a really good job. Okay. Everybody like knows each other, especially getting people to go to events like we did in Dallas, and creating that culture through, the Airbnb, the hotel, and getting people to, learn about each other and meet each other. You start to build that culture through that. Arizona right now, shout out to you guys, especially with, all the ladies out here. Like we are really creating something special. And I'm excited to see where that continues to grow and go. And that's going to be huge with your organization as well, is getting your team to work together. Does your team know each other? Right. There are people on the team right now, guys, who are in little chats together and groups and have conversations that I have nothing to do with. And I'm so freaking happy about it because they're working together. They're planning things together. They're wanting to be involved in each other's life because they understand how powerful this community is, and they want to be able to go and duplicate that for themselves. So I understand the team is exploding right now. It really is from where it was. Trust me, March 1st, we had 30 people active on the team to 110, 115 plus right now. Okay. We're in a really good spot. And now it's about capitalizing on what's happening. Okay. I know that I can't go P5 until I duplicate you guys, which is exactly what I want to do. I want to help you guys go platinum 600, go P1000, go platinum 2000. Okay. And so my biggest point with this is it's because everybody knows each other. Okay. Not only personally enrolling, but duplicating everybody, building relationships, every single person on the team, and driving depth. So I hope I hit the nail on the head with that one. You guys needed to hear, or you got what you need to hear from that. And then something that I wanted to just share as we start to like do more of these, but something that I did on the Saturday night pop-up Zoom that I never have really done before. And for those of you that were on the call, shout out to you guys. I think you saw this, and I think you saw how powerful it was. But shouting every single person out on that call. When we were starting, I think there was only like 12 people on, and then we got it up to like 20 or 21 or whatever the number was. The fact of the matter is we held like 20 strong the entire time, which was dope, which was really cool. But we're not going to always be able to do that when we have 150, 200 plus, 500 plus on a call, right? Shouting every single person out. So right now I started to see that, and I'm starting to take advantage of the fact that, this is the smallest that these calls will ever be. I want to drive depth. What's another way? I'm always thinking about this, guys. What's another way that I can create momentum right now? What's another way that I can drive depth and start, really getting the team to work together, and just like create energy right out of nothing. So I started to shout every single person out on the call, and I said something about them. And this is the part that most people will never be able to get to because they don't know their team. Every single person on that call, I knew something a little bit about them, whether it was which academy they're learning from, or specific qualities about that person, or maybe they just recently had a rank up, right? And you guys started to see that. I was shouting out, for example, Marin, who's been crushing it with DeLorean, who's been growing her account by 5 to 6% a week, who's low maintenance, who's very coachable, who I give her a plan and she follows. I'm giving praise and recognition for the right behaviors. You guys are saying that, right? I'm shouting something out about them because I'm back edifying what I want the team to do. The academy, you should be plugging into the academy. FRX, HFX, DCX, Elite. Oh, I have no idea what they're talking about. Oh, I'm not plugging in. Yeah, you probably should be plugging in, right? Or the qualities, coachable. She has a hungry, a burning desire, right? She's resourceful. Those things, rank ups. I'm shouting out that so people can see, and it starts to build culture. And if you're not getting shouted out for specific things that you want to be shouted out for, it's going to get you to want to go back to work. It just is what it is, right? So this fired everybody up on the team. I was super excited, just kind of see the energy that everyone was kind of matching and giving back, which was really cool. Also asking everyone how long they've been a part of the academy, which academy they're focused on, things like that. This was building excitement and culture. And right now, I think a lot of people are seeing Arizona is growing too. And we're setting, if you're out here in AZ, we're setting the standard for what others can do in different cities, in different states, different whatever. So the other couple things that I wanted to just kind of go into, I'm just reading what I have so I make sure I'm not missing anything. But I think the biggest thing is, guys, if you're taking anything away from this call, is you have to get into a habit of personally enrolling. I remember the questions when I was first like really doing this, and even like a year ago, the question that I would ask myself when it came to personally enrolling was like, I wonder if I'm going to get somebody started this week. That was the question in my head, right? You become the questions that you ask yourself the most. So what questions are you asking yourself, right? So the questions that I was asking myself about a year ago was, I wonder when the next person I'm going to get started will be. I wonder, or I hope I get somebody started this week. It is no longer, I'm not asking myself that question. So I started to get different results, right? Started to get new answers, and your mind will start to gravitate towards finding a solution, finding the answer to whatever question that you ask. Okay. And so I'm starting to ask myself, how many people did you get started this week? Right. Or, how many rank advancements? Like I was telling this to Arnold last night. The question is no longer, I wonder how many people I'm going to get started this week. It's how many people did you get started today? How many people did you meet your 3 to 5 enrollments for the week type of thing? How many people did you rank advance this week? How many platinum 150s did you rank up this week? Those are the questions. So I'm starting to find the solution and find the answer. Watch what happens this week. These 2 guys living with us, it's done. So many new people getting started in the business, it's done. We're going to have a new wave of people getting started, and that's what you want to be able to do. Okay, so starting to shift the way that you ask yourself questions. Personally enrolling is a must, but you've got to drive depth. You will not get to Platinum 2000 and sustain it. I can tell you firsthand, if you do not start to get your team working together. And the biggest and how you can start doing that is get them connected in the chats. Number one, if your team is not connected in the chats, you're literally doing them a disservice. Okay, you're doing them a disservice because they only know you and they don't know the team. Okay, that's number one. Number two is get them connected with me. I would say you're a mentor, but like most of you guys on this call, you're working with me individually. Okay, if you have a 3-way call or a launch call, you're pretty much going to myself. Okay, if anybody's watching this call, you're working with somebody else, cool, you rock with them. You should want your upline. You should want your mentor involved with your team. Christian Jukes, Mike Sotero, every person I get started, I want them to get connected with them. I want them to know my team. I want them to know my newest personal enrollment. I want them to know the person that just ranked advanced. I want them to know them. Why? Because it builds more relationships. It builds more accountability. They're more invested and they can see the vision of like, yo, there's more people in this. Chairman 25, Chairman 10, Platinum 5000. I can model that, right? I have another person that I can role model after. And it helps you guys, like I can literally do the heavy lifting for you. Not that I need to convince you to get me connected with your team. I'm just saying this because it's not really happening right now. I'm just being real. Some of you guys do a really good job about connecting me with all your people, but we need to do a better job about it because guys, I can literally put you on a pedestal. You leverage me and edify me. So it looks like, I can walk on water and fly at night like Alex Morton talks about, but I'll do the exact same thing back to you. You need your team to take you seriously. And sometimes we bring on people and they can only see you in a certain light, especially if you're not consistent on your social. If you're not consistent on your social, good luck. Okay, good luck. Your team needs to know that you're somebody that's reliable. Do you text back your team? Do you respond to them in a timely manner? Are you a reliable leader? Okay, so having them connected with somebody like myself, I can help. I'm not going to take care of your team, guys. That's not what I'm saying. Is they just need to have more than one person that they know. And number one, it should be your mentor. And number two, that you're working with, it should be the team. Get them in the group chats, shout them out, welcome them. Okay. So I want to ask you guys a couple questions and then wrap up this call and set a date for our calls moving forward. Okay. But I want to ask you guys this. Are you personally enrolling? You don't need to type it in the chat. Write it down for yourself. You will already know. Are you personally enrolling every single week? Okay. If you're not personally enrolling every single week, it's probably because of a few things. Okay. Number one, you're not prospecting every single day, and or you're not talking to enough people. You're not prospecting every single day, and or you're not talking to enough people. If you only talk to 5 to 10 people a day, I'm just being real, and you say you want to go chairman, you're not going to go chairman. Okay. You've got to be talking to more. I would say a bare minimum of 15 to 20 people. I would say, let's just say it out loud on this call. If you are full-time, I believe Mike Sotero said this, like no less than 20 new people a day. And if you follow the Instagram method, then you know that 20 new conversations should literally only take like 20, 25 minutes. Everybody has 25 minutes to prospect and build their business every single day. Okay. So number one, you're not prospecting every day or you're not talking to enough people. Number two, you're over explaining when you should be leveraging a tool or a 3-way. You're over explaining when you should be leveraging a tool or a 3-way. So I think if you guys need examples, let me know. But Nick, I wish Nick was on this call. He's going to give his testimony on the next call because it's that powerful. I told the guys last night, literally what he did. He literally flipped the switch on Wednesday last week. We had a one-on-one, and literally the next Like that afternoon, he was setting three-way calls up with me. We had 2 three-way calls back to back. One person got started and he went platinum 150, like literally crazy. He stopped over explaining. He recognizes that less is more, and he's just edifying the system. He's edifying what we do. And you guys will start to see that as you go through the training. Okay. And then lastly is, I wasn't going to put this in, but I realized it is important. You probably need to incorporate more of your story into your conversations. Now, this isn't a full monologue. This isn't, some 60-second, 2-minute voice note. This is like 20-30 seconds of you briefly just incorporating a little bit about you and your story. And when I say story, guys, it's just like everybody knows how to share their story. If you don't, there's a video. I'll send it to you. Okay. But I honestly learned how to share my story by listening to other people share their story. It's just saying where you were, or like why you made the decision to get started with what you're doing and where you're going. And that doesn't mean tell people, hey, I'm partnered with this, or I'm trading Forex, unless that's the conversation. But it's not me saying, I got started with trading. It's just kind of like, yeah, I'm like, I can totally relate. Whatever they say, I can totally relate to that. I'm college grad myself, got myself an 100K student loan debt, and I had no career financial plan. But I knew that I didn't want to just trade my time for money forever. And I knew I had to start actually getting my money to work for me. And I'm just super grateful to be able to, have that ability now with everything that's going on in the world. Then you can go in, guys, did you just see what I just did? It's recorded. So you can go back to that. And then you can ask them, are you currently, or what are you doing currently to multiply your money? I think I have some of the questions on here, and I'm going to send this to you guys, but I just will transition into a question. I won't just say something. I'll ask a question. What are you currently doing to multiply your money? Are you doing anything right now to get your money to work for you? So I briefly you guys notice I didn't say Forex. I didn't say crypto. I didn't say business. I didn't say any of that. It was very generic, and I said it in like 15, 20 seconds. So it's just like, they're not really going to think much of it. And they're going to recognize, oh, wow, like I can relate. She was in 100K student loan debt, or whatever your story is, realizing I didn't have a financial plan. I didn't have a career plan. And I knew that I didn't want to trade my time for money forever, because that wasn't going to get me very far. I wanted freedom. I wanted to create independence. So I knew I had to start getting money to work for me. Have you ever heard of the cash flow quadrant? Boom. They're going to say yes or no. If they say, yeah, cool. What are you doing to multiply your money? Are you doing anything right now to get your money to work for you? If they say no, oh my gosh, I've got something you've got to see. Guys, it's are you starting to recognize it is literally the same thing that I'm saying over and over and over again? All I'm trying to do is move the conversation in a direction that I can get an answer, where I can expose, I can get a yes or no if I would you to a video, to a Zoom call, to an event. And I'm going to share with you guys a blueprint that I gave the guys last night that I think is going to be super helpful. So those are the 3 things. You're not prospecting every single day and or talking to enough people. You have to give yourself enough opportunities to get a yes. If you're only talking to 5 to 10 people a day, you're going to be less likely to actually get a yes. It's going to take you a lot longer to get a yes. And you're going to be so discouraged by the rejection because all you're seeing are no's every day. And you get a yes once in a while. Cool. You're over explaining when you should be leveraging a tool or a 3-way, sending a video to do the explaining for you, or leveraging me on a 3-way call. Ask Jordan, who got me on a 3-way call yesterday. This girl who was like all over the place, got so much clarity from that call, who's in the military and is now looking to get started this week. Okay. Just from leveraging me. Nick's one person that he got started. So when Nick went 2 and free, okay, the one person that he got started, he got on a 3-way call. And then the guy before, he's already been involved for a long time. Guys, what I'm trying to say is you've got to leverage me. I will help you. I'm not the end all be all, but I will show you how you can become that person for your team as well. How can you start doing 3-way calls? How can you start duplicating your team if you're not even getting yourself on 3-way calls with me to know what to do? How do you know how to do a 3-way call if you're not getting me on 3-way calls? Does that make sense? So that's, are you personally enrolling? Okay. If you're not personally enrolling, follow those 3 things. Next part, and I'm going to wrap this call up, is your team duplicating? is your team duplicating? And I'll ask you a few questions within that. Number one, do they know the system? We just went over the system in the beginning. Are they getting access to the members guide? Do they know now the playlist, the 4-step invite video? Even if you guys didn't have this playlist, you still could have been sending them the 4-step invite video. Or you could have just asked and said, hey, Abby, what do you use? Okay. Do they know the system? Are you promoting the system? Cool. You get it? Are they on the calls? The Sunday night call, the Tuesday trading call. I get it, guys. And this is something that I said last week on the Monday call, because I had a couple people ask me, but I'm very adamant about this. And I don't know who, as far as leaders, do this, but I'm never going to be one to tell you to get off of a go live and get on a training, get on a Zoom that you get in addition to your membership. You're paying for your membership, okay? I am never going to be a leader or somebody to tell my personal or the team, hey, don't be on go live. You need to be on the Sunday night team call. If like your live session is on during the Sunday night team call, I'm never going to tell you get off of that call. You should be on the Sunday night team call. Okay. That's your call. That's your live trading or Tuesday trading. Okay. Tuesday trading is more for guests, but I learned a lot. Dr. Spiller is going to be doing the one this Tuesday. I'm excited for that one. I'm getting guests on that one because I know they're either going to get started or they're going to get scared and they're not going to get started. Okay. So are they on the calls? Next question. Are you on the calls? How do you expect your team to be on the calls if you are not on the calls? How do you expect your team to be on the calls if you are not on the calls? Okay. The next part. Are they all connected with the team? Are they all connected with the team? Are they in the chats? Are they connected with me or your upline, whoever you're working with? Guys, so important that you don't miss that. We have chats for a reason. And if you are in the chat, I don't think anybody on this call will think this way, but if your team is ever like questioning, oh my God, the chats are so annoying. I'm like, you need to give them a new perspective, or you need to get them connected with me so I can show you the right perspective and the approach, because it's not annoying. It's not annoying. Okay. It's like, it's value. You are getting that all. Josh is leaving. You are getting value from the group chats. You are getting value from what we're doing. So making sure that they're all connected with the team, with myself. Okay. Are they in the chats? And that's really it, guys. That was like the biggest thing that I wanted to make sure that I could get clear on with today's call, the duplication factor, personally enrolling, because you can go P6, you can go P1 by personally enrolling. But I promise you, you will not be able to go next level until you start to duplicate your efforts. You will not be able to do everything on your own. And I had to let go a lot this past year, just being real, to basically grow up to go up. Okay. So I wanted to open it up just the last part of this with any questions that you guys have, anything that you guys want to maybe get clarity on that I went over or maybe missed. And then just briefly get clarity on a time in a day on a weekly basis that we can regroup together to basically do our calls that I believe in. I think it's going to be the reason why I want to move the call times is because I want to make sure that everybody can get on the call. And this is the last thing I'll say. Sorry, I just thought about this. I said this last night to the guys about being a part of this inner circle, being a part of this group. It's a different campfire than the regular I am team chat. Okay. This is a volunteer army. You are on this call because you have shared with me or whoever that you want to go chairman, that you really want to build this business. So this is a different campfire conversation. The standard is different. The thermostat of this group is different. And you gave us permission, myself, whoever is speaking on this call, to have a level of conversation that's going to require you to elevate, that's going to stretch you, that's probably going to give you a new perspective. Okay. And so with that, think of this like a team. Like, obviously we're all on the same team. We're in an organization together, but think of like being a part of this group, this inner circle, whichever you want to call it, as like a team that you can get cut from. Like everybody that's in the I am team chat, you only get cut from it if you stop paying your membership, right? If you go inactive. That's like different. You get to be a part of that because you're a part of the team, you're a member. This team, this group, this inner circle, you can get cut from this team. And I'm not trying to say this in a negative way, or, I don't want you guys to be operating out of fear to think like, oh, Abby's going to cut me if blah, blah, blah. It's not like that. Okay. What I'm trying to say is it's more about your behaviors. It's more about your habits. It's more about your mentality and your desire, your burning desire and coachability to just follow instructions. Look, if you can't show up to the calls, if you can't show up on time, if you can't communicate, okay, if you can't follow instructions, why am I going? And this is something that you need to start embodying for your team, not in an ego way. It's just, I don't have time to waste on people that are not serious, that if I give them instructions, they're not following it, right? You don't want that with your team either. So you can get cut from the team just by not following the right behaviors, by not being coachable. Okay. I work with anybody, and it doesn't matter if you're ranked or not. Josh Moore's out of Canada. He's not ranked yet. He's about to be. I see him as a platinum 150. I see him as a platinum 600. I see him where he's going, not where he's at. I match energy. You put in the energy, I will match that. Okay. Same thing. And so I want you guys to recognize that being a part of this group is not something to take advantage of, because you can get cut if you don't communicate, if you don't show up to the calls. So what we're probably going to end up doing, guys, is doing a call just because I'm thinking about this long term internationally. Okay. And when we start to go big, it's going to be different. But as of right now, we can do a call on a weekend to make sure that those that are overseas, that are platinum 150 and above, which we have, can also attend the call and start to really grow this group. Okay. So I'm thinking to do a call on a Saturday. And if you're already thinking, oh my God, that's my Saturday, that's my blah, blah, blah. I'm like, y'all, what else are you going to be doing? None of us are in a position where, and I'm just being real, where it's like, you're good. You're not good. I know everybody's story on this call. I know where everybody wants to go. Okay. And it's like, for example, Josh on the football team, right? He just left for practice. Okay. So Josh on the team, he has certain requirements, a certain standard. I'm getting this so you guys can understand where I'm coming from. So set the standard moving forward. But if Josh doesn't show up to practice, if Josh doesn't communicate with his coach, if Josh doesn't perform, right? If Josh doesn't do the right behaviors and is not coachable to his coach, he's not going to play. And if it gets to the point where he doesn't show up to practice, he's going to get cut from the team. So and he doesn't choose when the practices are. He just committed to going professional. Just for example, right? He committed to being on the team. He committed to playing, at that level of football. He doesn't choose the practice times. He doesn't choose the day of the week that his practices are. His coach does. That makes sense? You guys have committed to going chairman. You have committed to elevating yourself in this business and helping people. You don't choose the practice time, right? Or you don't choose when we show up for meetings like this, the round table. I'm not trying to be an asshole by saying this. I'm just trying to be real, because that's the way that it is. And so I want you to just adopt a new mentality, because if you're already thinking, I don't think that y'all are thinking on this on the call, but I just got to say it because you don't know who's going to listen to this. If you're thinking like that, that's my Saturday. I'm like, dude, we're trying to get to the point where we've got 6 Saturdays and 1 Sunday, baby. That's what this is about. So you don't have just one day of the week where you get to yourself. We're trying to get to a position in a place where every single day is a Saturday and 1 Sunday. Y'all feel me? Y'all get where I'm coming from? So I'm thinking to do the call on a Saturday because it will allow majority of people to be on and be a part of this campfire, be a part of these conversations and this proximity to elevating. Because I can tell you what, if you're not live on the call, it's different. It's different. And I can't take you seriously. Okay. And so, especially if you don't communicate. All right. So I was thinking I would love to hear from you guys and your questions that you have. Maybe you need further clarity on all that good stuff. I would love to hear if Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern or 3 p.m. Eastern would work best. So that would be either 9 a.m. Pacific or 12 p.m. Pacific. 5 a.m. I think we'd had some crabby people on a Saturday. Type your time in the chat. Okay, looks like 9 a.m. 9 a.m. good for everybody. PST on a Saturday, so that would be 9 a.m. PST, 12 p.m. EST. That would be 5 p.m. EST, London. So Saturdays at that call time. If you cannot make those calls, speak now or forever. Hold your peace. And this is not a forever thing, y'all. Okay. How long did we do the 5 a.m. calls? And we did pretty good with those. Okay. This is Saturday at 9 a.m. PST for most of us, 12 p.m. Eastern. Show up to grow up. You can stay in the same spot, or you can get proximity to what we're doing. And you can go to the next level. So with that being said, guys, does anybody, I'm going to lock in that time. Whoever was not on this call, I'm sorry, but you do not have a say. You got to show up to be here. But does anybody have any questions? I know these calls are longer. I don't really want these calls to be that long, but we only meet once a week. And I see so much happening inside the organization that I want to make sure that we're all clear with everything moving forward. And I'll make sure that we're doing this Saturday. Yeah, this Saturday. This Saturday won't be a long call, I promise. Okay. It'll just be more of like a regroup of like, hey, this is what we're going to be doing moving forward. This is the system, yada, 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 yada. But does anybody have any questions or anything that they want to open up about? Then good clarity on. Now is your opportunity. If not, all good. $9 a.m. Eastern. Who is actually open to a 6 a.m. on a Saturday? PST. It's gonna be so interesting. I'm down. Okay, let's go. Who else? I am. Tony, Rachel. All right, y'all. We're gonna do good for 6 on Saturday. All right, let's go. Appreciate you, Arnold, for opening that up. All right, so 6 a.m. This is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy for everybody that's new to the culture of what we're creating. You really gonna be dedicated if you're getting up Saturday at 6 a.m. But this is good. I'm excited because we're gonna know who's actually serious, who's ready to grow, who's ready to go. But I appreciate you guys. I'm super excited for this group, for you guys as a whole. Let me know how I can help in any way, shape, or form. What I would recommend is go through that playlist, get me connected with your people, and let's fucking run it. Let's go. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. Hope you guys crush your Monday. Go do your thing, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.